Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Mayor, Nick, and today I will be joined by Art. And Art is the man in charge of a service, a travel service that you may be interested in as a cigar smoker. Art owns Puffit C. And Puffit C is a service that, it's cigar cruises. They are cruises designed to entertain and cater to your love of cigars. And so we'll dive into all that here in just a moment when we have Art join us, and we'll get into all that. But first, I'm going to fire up a cigar. Now, spirit of full disclosure, I have already recorded this interview with Art. This was a couple days ago, and I was smoking during that. And so what I'm smoking now, well, it's a mystery to me. I have this cigar. I don't know what this cigar is. It is a torpedo. It is a box press torpedo. I did have to do a little bit of fixing on it. It had a little bit of a wrapper split along the one edge of the box press that was causing like the wrapper to kind of flap. But Glue got it all glued back down, and so now the cigar is good to go. Yeah, I don't know what this is. This is one that I found in a random tub of cigars, which you'll hear more about that tub in Friday's show. Yeah, it's a random cigar. It was unbanded, uncellophaned, and I have no clue what it is. And all I know is I've had it for a number of years based upon, what was in that tub. And so anyway, mystery cigar time on the Cigar Pulpit. And so it is time to cut the cigar, and the official cutting is brought to you by 2guyscigars.com. That's the number 2guyscigars.com. Two Guys have been around for over 40 years, and they are the trusted name in the cigar industry. Everybody knows Two Guys, but if you don't, please give them a try. You won't be sorry. Family owned and operated, 2guyscigars.com does the very best to provide a great selection, fair prices, and excellent customer service. So head on over to 2guyscigars.com for your next cigar purchase. Tell them that the Cigar Pulpit sent you. And remember, that's the number 2guyscigars.com. And with that, it's time to go ahead and cut the cigar. So yeah, I don't know what this is. We will fire it up and see if it's good. I mean, if it's not, I guess it's not like I can, attack anybody or blame anybody. It is what it is. I don't know what it is. So anyway, while I light this cigar, why don't you guys listen to the greatest commercial that you have ever heard?
Some say cigars are all the same. It's just not true. It's you I have to blame.
Well, I don't know, 'cause what I know, there is a cigar called Aladino Corojo.
Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. They say authentic, so we're not confused, while the others say it's a word that's just abused.
I guess that's so, they can't compete. At least I'm sure Aladino can't be beat.
Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Corojo. Aladino Cigars use authentic Corojo tobacco from JRE Tobacco. This is the greatest commercial you ever heard.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the cigar is fired up, by the way. Super easy on the retrohale and fairly light on the smoking experience as well, despite being kind of a darker looking cigar. See, you can't judge a cigar by its darkness. Anyway, I am going to go ahead and jump into the interview with Art. And guys, enjoy that. And I will catch you on the other side. And I'm joined today by Art Brooks with Puffit C. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing today, Nick?
You know what? I got up. I've got my coffee. I've got a cigar. I can't complain. That's a good day right off the bat.
I understand. So I'm having a good day as well. Got my cigar, my coffee, and it's a wonderful day. Yes.
There you go. Now you've got the My Father Blue there, it looks like.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I just happened to be looking this morning, and yeah.
Fantastic cigar. I like that one a lot. I went with something a little different. I mean, I've got my coffee, so I've got the Dominicana from Drew Estate there, and man, you may not know this, but the listeners know this. I had a hell of a time with a Tobacco Especial with a coffee a couple episodes back. The humidity in my area was just way too high, and now my phone is reminding me of our Zoom call. Anyway, and so my Tobacco Especial, it wouldn't stay lit. But every once in a while, though, a nice sweet cigar with coffee in the morning, it's just kind of nice, And
it is.
And I got screwed out of that, so I'm doing it today with you. So that's all right.
Well, I appreciate that.
There you go. So, buddy, you come to me via our mutual friend Ken at the Ash and Ale, and he's been telling me about your cruises now for a little bit. Now he goes on all kinds of cruises.
Yes.
And God love him, and God love you. But I'm just gonna tell you flat out from the start, I've been on one in my life. And I was seasick as a dog the whole time, man. I mean, just that was where it started. I then took a train from St. Louis to New Orleans, 13-hour train ride, right? Got the sleeper car and everything. Laying down in the bed, this motion. I was seasick on the train. So evidently it's a me thing. I'm not saying it's a cruise thing, but But yeah, so my experience with cruises, I guess my point is limited. And so I have questions for you. Now tell me about what Puffit C is, because I said it and now I'm talking cruises and I'm sure my listeners are like, what the hell did the two things have to do together? So what is Puffit C?
So Puffit C is starting, I've been smoking cigars, and this will date me a little bit, for almost 50 years. And I started with the cheaper ones,
You started when you were like 5, right?
Well, I'm not going to say. I'll put this, I'm on Medicare, let's just say that.
Well, you look good. You look good.
Thank you, sir. And, I started out with the cheap cigars, and I said, and I did 21 years in the Air Force. And one of the good things being in the military, a lot of the cigar manufacturers, they send cigars over to the troops.
Yeah.
And so, I went in the box and got a cigar, and I had a Hoya de Monterrey Excalibur #2. Wonderful cigar. And I smoked this cigar for a long time. Then, I started cruising, and I've been cruising, smoking cigars for 13 years. And one of the things, I noticed when I'm on a cruise, the first day, you go in a cigar lounge or outside, and there's people over here, some people over there. Then the second day, people are getting to know you. Hey, what are you smoking? Whatnot. And then the next thing you know, they're scheduling a time to get together. Oh, well, let's get together at 6:00 or after dinner or whatnot.
Just like you do at the cigar lounges on lake.
Just like the cigar lounge. And it's basically taking the cigar lounge to sea.
Okay.
And then at the end of the cruise, you're changing information. And so I went on this cruise, talk about with Ken. And it was Ken, I, and my neighbor, Alvin. He's as a matter of fact, he's in Amsterdam right now. Can you believe that?
Good for him.
Yeah. And so, we're out and we're smoking. We get together, and this is a 15-day cruise. We got 8 days at sea. Yeah. And we're smoking there. We said, man, it'd be nice if somebody put together an event where cigar smokers could go out and then they have other events along with the cruise, tastings, pairings, and those types of things. And, we said this, it'd be a good idea. And of course, I'm sitting around one day, and my wife wanted to start a travel agency.
Okay.
And, in the travel industry, they're always talking about you need a niche, you need a niche. And I'm banging my head. So one day I'm out, I'm smoking a cigar, got my coffee, and I said, you know what? I should follow up on this idea. And I said, what am I going to call this thing? Come out that evening, smoking another cigar, and I'm puffing like this, and I see some air go up, and I say, puff and see. That's it. Right,
Go.
that's it. And so we got started. I went out. I've been, putting out all types of social media, whatnot, and put a cruise together in May. Now, we didn't even realize it because Ken, Alvin, and all our other people were there. And Ken and I sitting there talking, you know what? It was exactly a year ago today that we talked about that. So within a year, we're able to put that together and get out. And it was a wonderful time. I tell you,
That's very cool. That's very cool. So when was that? Was that last year? Was that?
It was last year in May. Well, the one that we just had was this year, this May.
So your first voyage, Puffet Sea voyage, was May of 2026.
Yes,
there you go. All right. Very cool. So tell me about what folks might encounter on a Puffet Sea cruise, because and again, when I went on a cruise, I was not a cigar smoker.
Right.
But I've talked with some folks that have been on cruises, and it seems as though there's usually like the lounge, and it's like and it's much smaller than on land lounges, obviously. And it's one of those things where sometimes it can get really smoky. So like when you guys are doing this, are there more places on the ship available to you, or how does it work?
Right. So I look for ships that have cigar lounges to begin with, but some people do want to smoke outside. And so the cigar lounges, believe it or not, some of the cruise line have lounges that are bigger than some of your brick and mortar lounges.
Okay.
And they have the ventilation, so it's not smoky.
That's good.
But one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to make it an experience, right? I didn't want it to be that you just go on there and you have cigars, because my wife was telling me, well, what do the people who don't smoke cigars do?
That's a valid point.
Right. And so put together. And so we have a number of events throughout the cruise. So in the morning, we have what we call lit and latte. So we meet up in the lounge or outside, get a coffee, and we smoke a cigar. We had classes during the cruise, how to light a cigar, what are the components of a cigar, how to fix up your humidor. And
so that's good for I'm sorry, not to that's good for the folks that like you said, maybe there's a couple and maybe one person smokes cigars, but maybe the other person doesn't. It gives them that educational opportunity so that they can join in if they so wish.
Yes. And it was very informal, so people were able to ask questions. We had folks who had never smoked a cigar, and they came in and asked questions. And, we took our time, and Ken was the main instructor there, but he took his time and really explained things. But people enjoyed it. It was amazing. At first we thought, let's do this. And, we have the book and all this type of stuff. Yeah. And we had a book out there, a little journal for him, and a couple of things of swag out there. But it turned into be one of the best things that the whole experience was about. Because then those people came into the lounge and smoked a cigar.
Okay.
They knew how to light it, right? So, you go in there, you got somebody never smoked a cigar to go through this course. They know how to light it. They know how to cut it. They can explain. And, people in there, well, my first third was this, the second third. And then this, And then, as part of that, we had receptions. We met for dinner each night. We had a pairing each night. We had our evening. But we did give people time to go and explore the cruise ship as well, because the cruise ship has a lot of different events going on. And so it turned out, and now, with the people that we met on the cruise, everybody's like, when is the next one? When is the next one? And so I'm thinking, okay, when is the next one? And I didn't want to wait a year.
Okay.
So right now we have 8 cigar cruises scheduled out through 2028. And I'm starting to work on 2029. We don't focus on just one cruise line. We've got some on Explore Journeys. Go ahead.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So, like, in terms of
the boat that you're using. Like, you guys, you don't have your own boat. You're partnering with
The cruise lines.
like proper cruise line, like
Yes.
legit cruise lines that folks
Yes.
would have heard about. And this is a partnership to where they're working with you and you're working with them and everything else. So it's a full cruising experience with legit
Yes.
companies that just also happens to have the cigar component to it.
Right.
So
Well,
who are you working with?
So we're working with Princess, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Explorer Journeys, Norwegian, MSC. We're starting to work with, we just had a Margaritaville.
Okay.
So we've got Margarita, but I work with 10 different cruise lines.
Wow.
And I presented this idea to all of them. So I went in, with my presentation, and I'm sitting there and I'm going through it. And to give you a good example, we had one that we did. We were on what they call a seminar at sea. So we're going to learn about the cruise line and kind of what they do. And we had scheduled a one-on-one with them for 15 minutes. That's pretty much the time they gave us, 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
the wife and I was like, how are we going to spend all this in 15 minutes? Hey, we're just going to do the elevator thing, right? Like people tell you, got to have that elevator speech, what you're
Gotta
talking
have it
about.
down.
We went in there. 45 minutes later, we were still there. They had
So
pushed
they
some
were
people
interested.
off. Yes, they had pushed people off to finish up and go into more detail about what we did.
That's
And
awesome.
it's basically, and I did that presentation with all of those cruise lines. I get together with their business development people. I put the presentation together, explain to them. The other part of it is, what is the benefit for them?
Yeah.
Because they're interested too. It's not just, oh, you're going to come in and do this. What do we get out of it?
100%.
Right. And then the same thing with the sailors, the passengers with us. What do they get out of it? I like to make, like I said before, an experience where everybody gets something from it. Everybody gets something from it and enjoy it. And I've had, it's interesting that I had someone call me up to go on one of the cruises. And because I always want to know how they find out about it. So how you find out about it? Well, I contacted the cruise line and they told me to contact you.
Oh, well, fun. So they are obviously doing their job then,
Yeah.
pushing people to you. Well, no, that's the best kind of event. It's like, obviously, Ken, and you've heard of my Pulpit Fest thing that we're doing.
Yes.
And I've talked about that on the show before, and my listeners are probably like, "Oh God, we're going to hear about this again." But but that's the thing. That's the best kind of event is when, like for my thing, I have the manufacturers that come in, and they sponsor the show, so they come in and they sell product to Ken, but Ken then turns around and sells product to the consumers, and I'm asking my listeners, the consumers in this case, to come in and spend money. But in the process of asking them to come in and spend money, I got to make sure that they have a good experience. So I want everybody to walk away happy. And if everybody walks away happy, it's a successful event. So you're saying the same thing, but just with this. So I love it.
And we also you mentioned about the different sponsors and vendors and whatnot. We have sponsors as well. We've got 13 sponsors, and they supply things for us for the cruise as well. So people brought cigars, they didn't even need them.
That's the best kind of thing.
Right.
The best. What do they say? The best cigar is a free cigar. I mean, I guess it's probably built into the cost, but whatever.
Our swag was. We had sponsors. Ken is one of our sponsors, Chanel.
Yeah.
He provided the lighters for us. These beautiful lighters. I mean, if you haven't seen one, I don't have it out here with. It has the Puppet C, this logo on one side, and then the Chanel on the other side.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't no cheap looking lighter. This was a beautiful lighter.
Yeah.
People loved it. He brought in some cigars, a line that he's introducing his personal line. He brought some of those in for us. I had a couple of my vendors was sponsors. And I got to get them in now.
I know.
If I don't mention it, you did a podcast and didn't mention it. But so we even had one of the vendors that sent us basically because I wanted to have a cigar band with Puppet C on it, something they would remember.
Yeah.
And so they sent me a couple of cigars to try out, and I said, okay. And I found one. I said, this is it. This is the cigar. And we ended up putting the bands on those. We gave a ton of those away. And one of the events that we did, and it was just one of the folks with us said, hey, why don't we do a cigar swap? Huh. Okay. You bring 3 different value cigars.
Yeah.
We throw them in a box, and then you pick out something you haven't had before. It was phenomenal. It was wonderful.
That's interesting you say that, because I've had people pitch that for obviously Pulpit Fest, but then other things before. And from my perspective at Pulpit Fest, I didn't want to do it because obviously, since we're having it at Ken's, I don't want to encourage people to bring cigars to a cigar shop. I want people to actually like patronize the shop.
Right.
But the concept is neat. And I guess my only question, since you've done it, is there some sort of a like kind of, how do I put this, quality buy-in? Like if somebody comes along and they're like, God, you're the guy bringing the dog rocket to put in the box so you can come around and get this good cigar now. It's like, you know what I mean?
We did not have that problem.
Okay, so everybody brought good stuff.
Yeah, we said, okay, 10, 15, 20. That was the price range we set.
Okay.
And we took pictures of the cigars. You know, it wasn't a thing of, well, let's see, like you said, did somebody bring this piece of, so they can get a really good cigar.
Yeah.
No, there was some outstanding. There's some people that went over that amount. Because some of those cigars was in, I was like, whoa, somebody spent some money on these cigars.
So whoever gets that box first, if they know what they're doing, they're looking at that.
But we passed it around.
Okay.
So we passed it around. So you got one, passed to the next person. They got one. And it went around 3 times.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And people brought extra because we had cigars left over because they were putting in other cigars. So, yeah.
Well, that's fun. I like that idea. I like that. So, I'm sorry. So, please continue. So, what else do you do on this cruise?
So, one of the other things we did, one of the classes that went over really well was we taught cigar lounge etiquette.
So big,
right?
So big.
And one of the things you mentioned is we talk to people about, if you go into a cigar lounge, even if you have your own sticks with you, right? Buy something. This is a business you're going into, and they've got to survive as well. So you go in there, if you don't, buy a stick from them, buy a drink, buy something.
I always say that you need to rent the seat. There is a seat in the lounge, and you need to rent the seat. And your rent, your rent payment is either the purchase of some cigars, like you said, maybe if they offer alcohol, you purchase a drink or coffee or whatever it happens to be. But you need to spend some money there. You need to rent that seat because that seat costs that lounge money to have, and because let's be real, that space they could be using for a shelf with other items that they could sell. That is sales space that they are dedicating to giving, you as a consumer, the comfortable place to sit and smoke. Absolutely. So Absolutely. you gotta pay for that seat.
Oh yeah. And it's just one of those things, when you go in and not putting your feet all up on stuff, like you're not at home, right? You're in somebody's establishment, right?
Trust me, I've seen some guys that make themselves at home at the cigar lounge. I mean, I know you have too, but it's like, But it was, that, and we talked. We just had a general conversation about, the cigar experience. When you go into a cigar lounge, whatever somebody's going through, they leave it outside. When you come in there, there's good conversation. It's about the stick. It's about, hey, this happened today, and this type of thing. But it's always, I said this the other day to someone. I said, I've never met a bad person in the cigar lounge. And they said, well, you need to come with me. I said, no, because I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one. I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one. But please continue.
Yeah. So we had went to a factory. One of our tours excursions for the group was a cigar factory.
I was going to ask about that because obviously, since this is a working cruise, just like, any other, you're not just going out to the water and just floating around in the sea for a little while and coming back. You guys, I looked at your website, you do excursions. So like, what kind of places are you looking at for the excursions? And then I guess the obvious next question is, if you're going to specific areas that I have in mind, those places might be known for, I don't know, cigar factories and various things like that, to where maybe you could do educational tours at some of these places. Is this something that you do?
Yeah. So, and one of the things I did, because
Sorry,
people
I
always
jumped
say
the
when
gun.
you do something, you got to put 10,000 hours in it to make it work. A lot of people
Sure.
don't realize that. You got to put in the time to make it work. So when I started this out, that was what you just mentioned. And so when we're going to these places, where are the cigar lounges? Where are the factories? And I have a database of every cigar factory, every lounge on the different stops for the cruise ship, for every cruise ship. And so I go in, I look at where we're going, I look around. And since I'm a travel agent, I'm able to put those excursions together outside of what the cruise line has.
Okay.
Right. So, because one of the cruises, the one that we just did, they had a cigar factory farm, and the bus trip was an hour and a half to get there. And you
Okay.
got about 40 minutes in the place, then it's an hour and a half ride back. I don't know, too many people want to sit on a bus for 3 hours just to
Yeah,
smoke a
man.
cigar,
I was
right?
just sitting here thinking, like, that better be a really cool 45 minutes for me to be willing to put up with 30 or 3 hours on a bus.
So I look for local places.
That's great.
And in the DR, we found a place. We went in, we got to, it took us, we got to roll our own cigar. Right.
See, now that's
Yeah.
a cool experience
Yeah.
that adds so much to this
Oh, yeah.
total package there. That's something people don't do.
Right. Right. And we got to tour the area, the things there. And we sat there and we had a chance to smoke a cigar. They gave everyone a cigar. As a matter of fact, they took us in there where they store the cigars and let people pick it out. It was, so what do you like? Of course, we had people who had never smoked a cigar. And of course, they asked the right questions, got him a cigar, and then we went downstairs, smoked the cigars. But then people were able to go out and shop a little bit while we were still there. So we had the transportation took us to the place, and the transportation take us back so that we could get back to the ship on time because we didn't want to get left.
Well, yeah,
Right.
I remember that from the one cruise I did do. It's like, they very much drill into you. You must be back at this time because we will leave you.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this story, man. So I was the last person to get on the ship. We were in Alaska, right?
Mhm.
And it's my wife on our anniversary, right? So, I went in, found this jewelry store, and they had this piece, but I wanted it in something else. I wanted to take the gems out and put it in another setting, right?
Yeah.
So the guy said, yeah, we can get it done. We can get it done. All right. So I'm there. I hear him making an announcement. People, all right, it's time to go. I see people going back. And the guy's not finished. He said, look, I got to get this. I got to get on this ship, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They are going to leave me.
They are going to leave, right? So, I'm walking, and the security guy's coming up to get me.
Yeah.
And so we're walking back and saying, we're supposed to be, yeah, I know. So I get up there, and they've already pulled up the game. All of that's up.
Yeah.
I'm going up this way. And I get on there, and there's my wife. She's got this, right. They've been calling you. I said, okay, babe. So she's going, I said, okay. So we get back to the room, and I said, you said that probably whatever I was doing probably wasn't worth it. I said, okay. And then I gave her the box.
And suddenly it was worth it, right?
It was right. So I have been the last person to get on a cruise ship. Yeah.
Oh, that gives me anxiety just thinking about it. Because, so I was down. Oh God, where did we go? It was, I don't even remember what cruise line it was. There's so much of that cruise that, I'm not gonna lie, man. I just black so much of it out because I'm just I just need to forget that experience. Not that I'm picking on cruises. I had a poor one because, again, I had so much going on. First of all, it was my honeymoon with my now ex-wife. So there's that. Then there's the fact that I was seasick. Then there's the fact that as we're checking into the boat, I start feeling that familiar little tingle in the throat. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, no.
So by day 2, we ship out that day. I call that day 1. Day 2, yeah, I'm full on. I got a head cold, because all the stress of the wedding and everything leading up to it, I now have a head cold. And it's January too, but whatever. And so I go down to the little shop there thinking I'll buy some Dayquil, blah, blah, blah. Fucking $9 for a pill.
Yeah.
A pill.
Oh, yeah.
Mind you, a dose is 2 pills.
Yeah.
So you're $20 in on one dose. And oh yeah, I don't know. Dayquil, you take what, 3 times a day when you're awake? It's what, every 4 hours or something like that. Maybe every 6. I don't remember. But the point is, you're taking multiple doses. Then you have the NyQuil. So it's like, oh my God, I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars just on freaking medicine. So I'm like, no, I refuse. So I dug my heels in. I didn't do it. So now I'm trapped on this ship, seasick and head cold with no medication whatsoever. Also, I am a portly man of size. And so the bathroom in our cabin, the shower, I could do this. I couldn't turn. I just did this. And the water just hit me. And where it hit me, I'm like, whatever. I had to kick my now bride out of the cabin, out of our room. I'm just going to be blunt with you here. I had to kick her out of the room when I had to use the toilet, because as a portly man aside, my leg, I couldn't shut the door to sit on the toilet. I had to leave the door open so my knee had room. Let me tell you, man, whatever cruise line this was, they had their own private island. We stopped there for a little bit. Oh, it was fun. Then we went to Nassau, and that was okay. Tourist trap area. And then she wanted to do this swim with the seal or sea lion or something like that excursion. Well, I didn't pay for it. I paid for her, but I didn't pay for me. So we go together. I'm like, all right, man, you got to sit here. So I sit on a bench for an hour, 2 hours, however long it was, while she's inside doing all that and everything. Let me tell you, man.
Yeah, that sounds like an experience.
My experience, I was never so happy to be on land, because the first thing we did, went to a Walgreens. I bought $30 worth of drugs, and I was feeling great by the end of that, you know. Yeah. But let me tell you, but yeah. So in all fairness, I had just a perfect storm of bad cruising experience, you know. My seasickness probably is the one of the least of the minor problems of it all. But so for people like me that say, I'm seasick, do you have tips in terms of because I've been told cabin position on the boat matters and all kinds of stuff. What would you say?
So one of the things that we do, because we kind of interview the people who are wanting to travel with us, because we want them to have a good experience. Whether it's, we don't just do cigar tours, we do all different types. So you want to position it in the middle of the ship. That's the best place. So if you're a person that has prone to seasickness, I'm going to put you in the middle of the ship. I'm going to put you about midway up, so it's a balance there. If you go up to the front or the back, watch out. Because that's obviously it's where you're getting the most variation in how the ship is settled.
Yeah.
We also, because you ran into that situation where you need some medication, we send a list of people of things you should take. Hey, this is a list of things you should take. So Alka-Seltzer, those types of things. Because you never know. And like you said, when you go in there, it's $9 for a pill.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
It's one. It's not. Or if you go downstairs to the medical, that's even more. Now you're paying for a doctor's visit. Right? Yeah. So we recommend things for them to take, even your clothing. We'll tell people, hey, you may want to take a jacket because at night sometimes it gets a little cool with the ship. We try to position them in a room. Like you had the situation where it's this tiny. So we know the rooms, those configurations of them. We've seen.
Yeah, if I tell you, hey, I'm a portly man of size, maybe don't put me in the little room, that kind
Well, as you can see, I'm not a little fella myself. So
you know my pain in terms of when will they make a cabin for the portly gentleman? That's what I want to know.
Oh, they have now. They have them.
Okay.
Believe me, they have. But it's, having the experience in the travel industry, we go and do ship tours. So we figure out which rooms, you can be on the same level in the same area and the rooms are different sizes.
Okay.
They're all different sizes.
So a hotel, people, you have the little room.
That's basically what it is, right? So we'll tell people that say, I want the cheapest thing you got. Okay. Now for me, No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
You do not. If they offer this thing, it's $2.99 for a 7-day cruise. Be careful, right? Because we found where sometimes we can get suites cheaper than the balconies. Right. It just depends on the time, and the prices change constantly. We're monitoring it. If I put you on a cruise, we monitor the price. If it lowers, we'll get the price lower for you. If it goes up, you still keep your same price. Okay. So we try to make sure that we take care of the passengers. We give you things like, if you've never been on a cruise ship, what about the plugs? What I plug stuff in? You walk in there, you see there's only 2 plugs right there, right?
Yeah.
No, not quite, because the ones that are converted though for overseas, you can switch it and it goes back to a regular 120 outlet.
Okay.
So we give them tips like that. To get a drink package. So I don't want to pay that much for a drink package. Yeah, you do. Because what you'll find out is, you buy a drink and let's say drink is $10. By the time they get done with all the fees and adding in the tips and everything, you pay $20 for a drink. Now, I don't know about most people, but that's, if you buy soda, different things like that, you end up spending way more than if you just got the drink package. Because today with the drink package, they include things like the specialty dining. You can get all kinds of different perks and whatnot. So we try to make sure we get as much as we can for the passenger. Because like for yourself, I hate that you had that kind of experience. When you come on one of the ones that we do, you will not have the experience. I promise.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to that.
We will make sure, because again, my wife, she wants to make sure, we give people hand sanitizer, or we include all those types of things with it. Because you don't think about that. I just want to go on a cruise and want to have a good time. When you get on there, you go down to that shop, you're going to pay a lot for some of that stuff on there. So,
for sure. Well, I mean, you're a captive audience at that point. They got you,
They got you.
And when you need medicine, man, they're going to make sure you paid for that medicine. That's
because it's like you said, you got off and you went to a Walgreens. Well, we try to, let people know, because not everybody wants to do excursions. Yeah. So what's in that local area? What's in the general area? Where you'll find out there's places like they have convenience stores there. And of course, you can buy the water and whatnot like for, $1. Whereas on the ship, you may pay $3 or $4 for a bottle. And so we give people a lot of tips like that. So.
Okay. And you mentioned a balcony. I had a kill for a balcony on mine. I had a porthole. That's how small this room was. I had a porthole. I didn't even have a balcony on mine or anything like that.
You gotta come with me, man. I'll have to get you hooked up.
The bed folded up into the couch, and so like when we unfolded, it took up like the bulk of the room, and like that was like, I mean, it was tiny, man. So I would just say to anybody that is talking to you, man, spring for the bigger room. Don't go cheap.
Absolutely.
Don't think, oh, we're barely going to be in the room. We'll just do a cheap little room because no. Trust me, you want a comfortable room.
Yes, you do.
So, okay. Now, the other thing, when I was on my cruise, they had all kinds of different other classes and things of that, various things. So, since you're partnering with other cruise lines, obviously you have your cigar related stuff, but let's say somebody wants to take a napkin folding class or, do the couple scavenger hunt where we look through everyone's purses to find this stuff, and all that stuff's available for everybody as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So they get all the perks of the normal cruise that they're on, but in addition, they get the Puffet Sea experience as well.
That's correct. And matter of fact, you mentioned the scavenger hunt. We did what we did was we took, because we had our lanyards, and whatnot. And we're going around the ship and people were like, oh man, I didn't know they had this on here. They didn't advertise this. And hey, this is a private group, whatnot. But if you'd like to join us, you can. And so we just basically had them, sign into the Facebook group, and then, gave them swag, and they came down and joined us.
So they could join literally right there on the spot, on the boat.
On the spot. Yes, they could.
See, that's good That's good. That's good thinking on your part. It's like, you know what? You want to join in, just you just pay a little bit more right now to me.
For that particular one, we just had them join us.
Oh, so they got free Puffet Sea experience.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Yes, they did.
But then they enjoyed it. So potentially they'll come back and do another. Because
And
I
they
find that the
absolutely-
people that, and correct me if I'm wrong, I find that the people that enjoyed a cruise, they love going on more cruises. Like Ken,
Yes.
man. Ken loves his cruises, you know?
Oh, yeah.
My dad, he does. I mean, he's been on multiple different cruises. Hell, they just went on something somewhere. It was over Spain. I think it was Spain. They just did one not too long ago. But like, I mean, they're all over the place with these. I find that the people that love cruises, once they go on one and they enjoy it, it's just like all of a sudden that's their vacation plan.
Yeah, well, think about it. You know, if you on a cruise, it's similar to, you know, if you go into a resort,
Yeah.
you know, all your food is included. The hotel is there now, and they're going to take you to different spots so you can see it. So you got everything wrapped up in one package. So you don't have to worry about how I'm going to get to here and whatnot, or, you know, what are we going to eat, paying extra to get something to eat. Like you said, it's like a hotel. You got that situation. They got different events for your all-day shows. You know, you got that. You get a magician, a comedian, all those types of things are all on the ship. And so that's one of the good things about it. That's why people that do not, for me, I like the sea days, right? Out of the excursions, we got to stop. You got to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go do something. I love the sea days because I can sit out there, you know, with my cigar and relax. Always, you know, when I get on the ship, I tell the people who are with us, hey, when I was, you know, smoking 13 before we started getting our group together, I found a spot. Now, if you're looking for me, this is where I'm going to be. And if I'm not here, I'm either eating or sleep. Here's the spot I'm in.
This is
And
where
that's
I'll
kind
be.
of, and that's, you know, that's one of the things I do. But, you know, you mentioned, you know, when you're on that cruise and people enjoying it, again, with the Puppet C, everybody that went with us is looking forward to the next one. Matter of fact, we have one coming up in September on Margaritaville.
Okay.
We have some of those same people that are going to go on this cruise with us then. And then we have another one in November. They're going on that one as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you said you've got what, 8 of them planned out right now through 2028. For like, I've gathered, again, talking to like my dad and various people, it seems like, you know, and you're obviously mentioning that you do plan out cruises kind of in advance and whatever. So like in terms of like availability for Puffet C, you know, if somebody's listening to this and they're just like, hey, this sounds cool and I want to do this, like, when are they looking like, are you booked up for September, November? Or are we like looking ahead? Like, how are we stacked up right now?
So what I do is, you can go on the Puffet C website, right? You'll find that you can either request a quote. So we have some that groups that come on and say, hey, I want to take the folks in my lounge or these people I hang out with on a cruise. They don't have to wait till one of the Puffet C cruises come along. They can send me what it is they're looking for, the dates they're looking for, if they want a particular ship, and what type of experience do they want? Do they want courses? Do they want a vendor on board? Those types of things. And so I get requests for cruises that way.
Okay.
And then, of course, we have the ones that are set up for the Puppet C. So if you come on and said, hey, I want to take a cruise in December and I want to take a group of people with me, we set that up. And when I say set it up, we put together the experience, the courses, the different events, all those types of things. We'll set up a tour for you to go out and visit a factory and all those things. So you'll get the Puffet C experience with your group.
Okay. So, but if let's say we're talking like a couple, you know, when are you like what's the availability for that look like? Are we talking like 2027 at this point or whatever? I mean,
so when you say that, are you talking about it's just a couple that wants to go on a cruise?
Guy and his wife want to go on a cruise, and the guy's into cigars. Maybe she's into cigars too. And they're like, you know, this could be fun. We can have sort of cigars on our cruising experience.
Mm-hmm.
If
they want to go and they want to go by themselves, we'll put something together.
But I mean, like, you've got your experience, your groups that you're organizing, you know, like you said, September and November. Are those booked up?
No, so what we do is,
so if someone wanted to get in on the one in September right now, as we're listening to this, I mean, it's, you know, this come out in, you know, in July. You know, I know September's like super close to July, but like, let's say somebody's like sitting there and they're like, by God, I'm going to do this, can they do September?
Yes. What we do is we book a group space. So we
Okay.
book a block of rooms, right?
Yeah.
And then if those get filled up, we can add rooms to it.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. So we can add rooms to it. There's, you can get up to 200 rooms if you want, right?
Oh, wow.
I have a 3-year goal to charter a ship with Puppet
Just
Sea.
the whole boat's just
the whole
Puppet
ship.
Sea.
Yeah. 3-year. Yep. 3-year goal. Yep.
Boy, then
Oh,
I think now, okay. So let me ask this. And obviously it's an issue for down the road, but like I assume right now how does it work with smoking areas on the boat? Because obviously you have the lounge, and I know some boats have like the deck around that they have spots on the deck around that you can smoke at. Is that kind of how it is with this, or are there maybe a few additional spots that maybe open up because of this, or how do they work that?
So typically on a boat, they have the outside area, the smoking area.
Okay.
Right? And so you can go out there. Sometimes they have a lounge. Now, one of the things you may run into, there's a lounge that doesn't allow cigarette smokers in there, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Or there may be an outside area where there's cigarette smokers, but they don't allow cigar smokers there.
Okay.
But there are other areas where you can go and have your cigar. And there's some hidden areas. That's one of the things we found out on some of the ships. You can go and they got an area over here. Nobody knew about this, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're one of the exclusive zones on the boat, they have an area over there that you go and smoke. But they definitely have areas set aside for smokers.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And every ship we've been on has had that.
Okay. So there's plenty of spots, is what I'm saying.
Plenty of spots.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So then I guess my inevitable question is then when you get to the point where you have booked up the whole ship and it's the Puffet Sea boat, and exclusively Puffet Sea boat, do they just open the whole damn, well, maybe not the whole damn thing, but like a lot more than what they normally would? And it's like suddenly you're just like, I'm going to the buffet with No, probably not.
Well, now they won't go that far with
Yeah.
But one of the things, we've been able to do, one of the lines we're working with for 2029 is they're going to open up an area that the whole back, the area, this was deck 14. They're going to open up that entire area for Puffet Sea. So it'll be an exclusive area. Everyone come in there and smoke. We'll have, different parties and whatnot in there, but that area is reserved for just Puffet Sea. And then we had a ship that we had to open up another area for us for smokers. That wasn't typically a smoking zone, but they did it because they had the ventilation to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but again, I put I go in there with the presentation. Here's kind of what we need. I want to make sure that the folks have an area they can smoke, and it's not going to be you can't smoke the cigars there. So we identify all of that before you get on the ship.
And it's little things like I was talking to somebody and he was telling me about how they had a smoking area, but there were no chairs. And it's like, well, that's obviously built for cigarette smokers, because if you've ever had a cigar, you're going to want a chair. Like you're not
going to be there a minute.
Nobody's going to be standing and smoking a cigar the whole time. I mean, unless you're smoking like a little baby thing, you're not smoking a Toro and just standing the whole time. I mean, I guess theoretically you could, but who wants to,
So one of the things we do is when we're on the ship, we have a cruise representative that's assigned to our group.
Okay.
So if we run into problems like that, so let's say you went out there and there were no chairs, I would find that rep and say, hey, some of our folks went out here and they didn't have any chairs. They'll get chairs out there. One of the other things you run into in a lot of the smoking areas, they don't have a server dedicated to that particular area, right? So I would go and say, hey, we got people here that want to have drinks, somebody serve them, bam. This last cruise we just did, that happened at the first day. After that, there was a person there for us every single day that was dedicated just to that group.
Well, and I would think, maybe I'm being generous to our cigar community, but at least in my experience, we understand that perhaps not every server is thrilled to be around a whole bunch of cigar smoke. But in my experience, though we understand that and we tip very heavily, when we
Yes.
get good
Yes.
service, to where
Exactly.
it's yeah, they may have put up with our smoke, but they're getting something on the back
Oh
end
yeah.
of that,
Oh, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
one of the things I found, and a lot of the cigar smokers, that are there, they know, most people, if you want to get service and you want to get, exactly what you want when you want it, once they get to know you and give a nice little tip, or your drink will be there. You'll never have to worry about it being
For
empty,
sure.
right? It's and if let's say I want to double, I like to drink Crown Royal, so I want a double Crown Royal. After that first day, I've got a double Crown Royal just coming. As soon as my glass
See,
gets
there
empty,
you,
here it
and
is.
that
Right.
counts for so much right there.
Oh, yeah.
The fact
Oh,
that
yeah.
they obviously remember what you're drinking, have it
Mhm.
ready for you,
Yep.
set and ready, man. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's like I said, but the cigar community is like that, right? They don't sit there and it's like, complaining. Oh, they'll ask, hey, can
Yeah,
I get this? Or you go in the air and there's no ashtrays. Okay, where do you want me to put my ashes, right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
find somebody and they'll get one over. Because a lot of times what happens is people move them, right? So you'll have a
Yeah.
table that doesn't have one. Somebody moved it. You can just get up. Hey, can I use this ashtray? No problem. Or can I use this chair? Just be polite.
Yeah.
Just treat people like you want to be treated. You mind if I had a show? Yeah, no problem. Matter of fact, can I join? Right?
There you
You mind
go.
if I join? And so we got 16 people sitting around an area that was set up for just 4. Right? So,
I've been there
yeah,
before too.
yeah. But we definitely have a person that's dedicated for the puppecy.
Very
And
cool.
then if you have any issues, we go to them and they get it fixed. No problems.
So then let's go back to the whole excursion thing for a moment. So like
Mhm.
you said you have this database of shops and things. Obviously some of these factories, like you said, they're kind of far in, but there are smaller factories that are
Yes.
available to them and
Yes.
everything. I would think that would be a really cool thing for the people to experience while they're doing it. Are there any have you been to any of these factories that that maybe any of my listeners would recognize some of the brands coming out, or are these like mom and pop kind of thing? Like, I mean, I'm not shitting on the mom and pop ones because obviously they're doing the same thing just on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of cool when you're going somewhere and you're just like, oh shit, I know that brand. That's in my shop back home. That kind of thing.
Right. So one of the things that I do, and with the database when I put it together, like you're saying, there may be places far out. So is there a cigar lounge nearby that they can go and visit? So I went through that and I actually called them. Right. So how many people can you seat? Well, 5. Okay. I don't want to send a group of people over there.
Yeah, we're probably not going to be able to do that.
No. And then there's some places, that you may have never heard about, and they've been producing cigars for 20 years. Right. There's some places in the DR like that. We visited a place just recently. And if you get a chance, go to the website. I wish I had put.
I'm on the
pictures up
website
so I
right
could
now,
show.
actually, on my
Well,
phone.
so
I'm looking at it right now.
It's with a Facebook page. And there was a place that we visited. I can't remember the name of the place now, but it's really popular. They were working with the Sopranos, and they made a lot of cigars for them. I can't remember it right now, but it's in the DR, and it's a factory there. We went out and visited that place, and they roll the cigars right there and everything. And so we try to make sure when we recommend for somebody to go, one, it's nearby. At least you can take a taxi out there. A lot of times the taxi is $5, right? $5 there, $5 back, and they'll take you out to the place. So I look for places. There's my favorite, where they have Cuban cigars, and it's a chain in different areas. I have the list of all of those places you go to. And it's authentic. That's one of the things in our etiquette class. In our classes, we taught people how to identify a real Cuban cigar. Because when you get out on that, but don't buy anything that's on the street. Even in shops, you better be careful, right?
My brother got him out of the back door, and he works there. And these are the extras that he took out. And blah, blah, blah. Look at these cigars in this glass top humidor, and
Yeah, we went into a shop, it's a reputable shop, right? You go in there, and so we get how much is, we looked at some Trinidad. So, look, can we see the box? They showed us the box. There's no hologram, right? Nothing. It's like, okay. And so we said, we don't want, what's wrong? He said, what's wrong? You're missing some stuff that should be on this box. What am I missing? He says to us, well, let's just scan the barcode and you can see that it's real. I'm like, come on, buddy. I know you put the barcode in.
I was going to
So
say, come on now. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
So, we talk to people about that too. Hey, be careful. Well, even folks that aren't on the cigar tour with us, right? So we say, be careful. I want to buy some cigars. What should I buy? Don't buy anything on the street.
Yeah.
Right?
And if it's too cheap
Don't
to
do it.
believe, you're going to end up with a
Listen,
cigar that doesn't have filler tobacco. It's got
Oh,
hair,
man.
paper, and fingernails.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
want that.
It's like smoking a newspaper or something.
That's what I'm
like that.
saying. It's
But
like,
see,
oh,
I say that because I bought them, right?
flavored notes of
I've
dog
been
hair.
out there thinking, I got some good Cuban cigars.
Yep.
Man, it's junk. It's something they picked up, and that's it.
It's one of those things. It's one of those common questions. It's like when somebody goes on a vacation and they bring you back, oh, I know you love cigars. Here, I bought these for you, and blah blah. And you look at it, and it's like, the Cohiba lady's got like a cross eye going, and it's just like, oh, I'm pretty sure that's fake. In fact, I know that's fake, but do I tell
That's
them
not
it's
even
fake?
spelled right, right?
Yeah, right. It's like Cohiba with a K, but it's like, well, wait a minute. Like, do I tell them it's fake and like, or do I just graciously accept and whatever? But
right.
That's a tricky deal.
Yeah, it's not, and that's not a hit or miss. That's definitely gonna be fake. You bought it on the street. It's not a hit or miss. I may get something nice.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, if you're doing doing these cruises, going to these places and everything, some of these cigars are not cheap. To purchase it. I mean, some of them, especially the Cuban ones, the prices on these are not cheap. So, like, if you're going out and somebody's saying, "Hey, you want a Cohiba? It's $20." It's like, whoa, back up. It's like that's way too cheap for that.
Yeah, I mean, this guy was selling a box of Trinidad. This same box I'm talking about didn't have the hologram. It was $1,000.
Oh, so he's trying to get legit prices for fake shit. See,
it was $1,000, man.
No.
And I'm like, somebody's gonna come in here and buy that. And it's like,
you're right,
man.
Yeah, I'm
somebody's going to buy it that doesn't know, think they're getting a deal. First off, you should know what a cigar costs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do some research. And most of the cigar smokers do. If you got a veteran out there, they know this cigar should be around $25. And you get out. Now, some places you go to, the taxes and all that stuff, it does make it a little more expensive, but it should be within reason, right? So, I'm not going to pay $50 for a $25 stick.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Now we're talking about prices. You don't have to pay a lot of money to get a good cigar. I preach that, man, to tell people.
Oh,
I've had cigars that cost $100, $150 and we're like, it didn't fit my palate. I'll just say,
dude, I'm right there with you. I always, it's like there's a huge difference between a $5 and $10 cigar.
Yep. Oh yeah.
But there's not a lot of difference between a $10 and $20 cigar.
That's correct.
And for $20 on up, the difference is so incremental that if you're like you got to be an aficionado of aficionados to be able to tell like, oh, that's it. And to be honest, once you get like that high, it's like, come on, is it worth it? You're literally taking $100 bill and lighting it on fire at this point,
That's what my wife tells me. She said, you're just lighting up money. I say, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm okay with it at 10 to 15 bucks, it's like, but
I've had some $3 sticks that were outstanding.
I'll tell you what, one I'm super big on right now. There's two of them. The first is the McAuliffe color blend. They take they have the black, the blue, and all. Well, they take the clippings from that and they put it in there. It's $5 for a Toro, and it smokes wonderfully. Now, granted, it's the same flavor all the way through, so you got to like that flavor. But it's the same. But it's great.
Yeah.
And then Crux. They have the marble head. I can get those for $7.50 a piece at my local place, but they sell 5-packs for at my local place for $35. And it's like all day long, man. Like, this is a great cigar for $7, and I mean, love it. So that's the thing. There are great cigars for inexpensive prices out there.
And there are people. Yeah. And sometimes people use it as a status symbol. Oh, I'm smoking this. Okay, I'm smoking this. How much did you pay for that?
Mm-hmm.
And
it's like,
it's not that much better, right? I do. Yeah. I've got one of my sponsors, Blackwood Cigars, right?
Okay.
He's put in a lot of work, and he has this box press Maduro. I've got to get you in touch with him. It's an outstanding cigar. And I tell him all the time, man, you should be charging a lot more for this cigar. He says, nope, I want to keep it in this price range because I want people to experience my cigar. I put a lot of work into it and I want to experience it. And I'm telling you, man, today, and we had a couple of those on the Puppet C cruise, right? It's an outstanding cigar. And it'll rival a lot of these things that are $50, $60, right? It's that good. That's why I say I'll get you his information. You contact him and get if he has a box press, he has a barber pole and a couple others he's working on. I want to say he's got about 3 SKUs that he's working on right now that he's pushing. Yeah. And he really, he's getting started. And I said, no, let me try a couple. And I got him. And man, I'm telling you, I've been a regular customer since I had his first one.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you make a good product and you price it fairly, then you're doing great. And let's be real. In this day and age, right now, it's not like, times are cheap,
Exactly.
I mean, with gas and groceries and everything else involved, it's
I'm
like
smoking a tank of gas.
That's what I'm saying. It's one of those things. I literally in a recent episode talked about the state of the industry and how like imports are down and blah blah, and retailers are kind of having a bit of a rough time and everything like that. And it's like, well, yeah, this is a luxury that this is a luxury item. It's a luxury experience that when times get tough and the budgets get lean, what gets cut? Well, unfortunately, cigar smoking tends to take a hit. So yeah, I get it. So if a company can put out a good cigar at a good price, they're going to be doing a lot better at times like this than somebody that's saying, "Oh, all my stuff has to be $25 or more." Right. It's like, come on. But now to that point, let's talk Puffet C pricing. So like if let's say, a husband and wife want to take a cruise, ballpark it, what are we kind of looking at for pricing to take part in Puffet C?
It's interesting you bring that up, right? And it's a good point because that's one of the things so we have cruises right now. You can get on one of our cruises, a couple, and you're going to be like, right, okay, yeah. You can get on a cruise right now, $179 for both.
Okay. All right. All right.
Now, but I also have cruises.
Am I going to get the effing closet that I was talking about before?
No, absolutely not. I don't do that's right. Remember, I don't do that.
I know. But come on, $179 for both people.
I also have cruises where a couple goes on and it's $10,000.
Okay.
Right. So it's the range because that's one of the things you're saying, well, what if a person comes to me and I want to go on this Puffet C cruise? What's your budget? If you tell me it's $3,000, I'll find you something. I'll try to find you something for $2,500. I'm not going to get you something for $4,000 because some of the realtors do. I only want to spend $300,000. Then you're looking at $500,000 house.
Yeah, because they're like, we can talk them up. That kind of
right. Yeah. I don't want to do that. We don't upsell. We just don't do it because we want people to come back and have an experience, right? That they had a good time, and is because look at it this way: anytime you're doing business with somebody, right, you're not going to win. You got to be comfortable with what you get.
Yes.
Are you comfortable with it? Because you're not going to get it. I'm not going to get you a room for $5,000 room for $1,200. It's not going to happen. But I can find you a room that's just as nice for $1,200, and that's what we look at.
So let's go to that extreme example that you gave. Okay. $179 for the couple. Now that's for the couple, or is that per person?
That's for both people.
Okay, so we're talking like $90 a head, basically.
Correct.
All right.
And this is a 4-day cruise.
Okay, 4-day cruise, $90 a head. Yep. What does that get them? I'm sitting here curious as to what you get for $90 for a 4-day cruise.
So, you get your room. You get all your food and whatnot, just like you're going on a cruise.
So you're getting like the food package,
You get you get what's on the ship, right? What they have on the ship. Now you can spend more and get the specialty dining, but everything that you would expect on a cruise is going up right there. They don't take in, like I said, they don't put you in a little closet. They only serve dinner at 2:00 and you get 3 entree and 2 sides. No.
Okay.
When you go into the diner, it's unlimited meals, all the meals a day, the whole nine. Now for the Puffy C experience, right? Remember I said $179.
Yeah.
You get your swag bag, right? You get this Puffy C experience with the cigars. Right now, for this year alone, we're not charging any additional funds for people to go on Puffy C. So you don't pay $200 for the Puffy C experience. Whatever your cruise price is, Puffy C is included in that
Okay.
because we're trying to build a customer base.
Yeah. No. But like, okay, so then you mentioned the drink package earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be included with the 179. They'd have to tag.
No.
So yeah, okay, all right.
For that particular one. Now
For
for the $10,000 cruise, everything's included.
Well, I would think so.
Yeah, it's a luxury cruise. But we also have those at $3,000, $2,000, where the drink package is included as well.
And that's for a couple.
For the couple, for both people.
Okay.
Both people, both have the drink package. They have at least three specialty diners, depending on the room. It could be 4, depending on the room you did. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I want to make sure, look at this way. So what I've been cruising for 13 years smoking cigars, right?
Yeah.
I want Puffy C to be what I expect when I go on a cruise.
Gotcha.
So I don't care if the passenger has an inside cabin or a deluxe suite. You're going to have the same Puffy C experience as both people have the same experience. And I put that as I'm not going to skimp on that at all. Never. I'll stop doing it before that because I want them to have that experience where when they leave that ship, it's like, man, I had a good time.
Gotcha.
I had a good time.
Well, that's awesome.
I wish I could bring some of the folks on here to let you talk to them so you can see what they experience, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's not something that I want to skimp on. I don't want to go, it's like, say I'll give swag bags and I give lighters. I'm not going to give you a 50-cent lighter.
Yeah. Oh no, and I know the light.
Want.
I'm pretty sure I know the lighter you're talking about that Ken provided, the metal, but it's like a metal.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
it looks like a Zippo.
Yeah, I was saying it looks like a
it's
Zippo,
butane.
But
Yep. Beautiful. It was outstanding. That's where our sponsors come into play. So they get something out of it too, right?
Yeah. So
you want to make sure when you do something like that, and that's why I want to be able to keep the prices reasonable. I'm not trying to gouge people. It's not worth it to me. It's just not worth it.
So then in terms of departure points, like do you
anywhere in the world?
Okay, so your experiences, they go out of any port. Okay.
We have one that's going out of Athens, Greece next year.
Are you on all these?
LA, huh?
Are you on all these?
So right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm looking for ambassadors, right? Because I don't want to be on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be the person that has to set everything up, right? I'd like to come on the ship and get a cigar and enjoy the experience myself.
Yeah.
But right now I am on all of them because I want to make sure that the experience, is the same.
Well, that's my point, because I'm sitting here thinking like, if I'm doing a Puffy C cruise and I'm leaving from Athens, like you just mentioned,
right?
It's like, and you're not on the ship. Well, who's managing the Puffy C experience for me? So,
and right now, I'm getting people up to speed on that because our agency, we just hired 5 new agents.
Okay,
right, and so I want to make sure that they're able to go in there and make sure they have the same experience, right? That they know the brand, and it's a brand. Here's what we do. This is what we do. We don't skip on it. If a person has a problem, you take care of it. We want to make sure they have the swag bags or similar. The courses may not be the same course. It may be a different course because if I got repeat people, they don't want to come to the same class.
I was going to say,
I already been through this. So
I mean, you always got to offer the 101, but like at some point you got to offer the 201 and the 301.
Exactly. So we have one that's going out of LA, Canaveral, Miami. We're looking to get Jacksonville, New Orleans when they get their stuff up to speed. Vancouver, we're looking at that right now. So anywhere in the world that you would want, if you called me up and said, hey, I want to go out of Barcelona and I got this group, You would go out of Barcelona. There'd be someone on that ship that understands puff at sea. You would have the same experience there that somebody would that's going out of Miami.
Okay. Okay.
There will be someone on the ship that understands the puff at sea ring.
I would think that would be not difficult, but I would think that would be just an extra level of complication for hiring for you, because not only are you having to bring in somebody that understands the cruising and travel side of things and how to manage all that and everything, but then you also asking them to know all about cigars and that experience and everything. So that you've got two different skill sets and knowledge sets that somebody has to have. Whereas, all these other travel places, they only have to worry about the travel side.
Well, see, that's the good side. Okay, that's the good side about what we're doing. And so right now we have the travel agency side and we have the cigar side of it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for people who have, they've got the classes where you can become a concierge, a tobacconist, and those types of things. Those are the people that I'm looking for to go on there, because when they get on the ship, the cruise side is taken care of. That's done. Now I need somebody to handle the tobacconist side of it, making sure how to show somebody how to cut the cigar light and explain different things about it on there.
Yeah.
And so we're looking at, the tobacconist actually going on there doing it. So I don't plan to be on all of these things.
That's true. I guess the person that you'd have in charge, they'd have to know more about cigars, but theoretically, if there's anything related to the cruise, they just have to find a cruise representative and be like, hey, this is the issue that we've got. How are you going to fix it? Kind of thing.
Yeah, we set everything up. Like, so if I had a group that came on, so they want to take their lounge on there, I'm going to set everything up for them, but I'm also going to make sure there's a tobacconist on there to take care of any needs they may have related to that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I would think that would be a really cool, I guess we could say like retirement gig, or like late in life, like prepping for retirement gig. If you're really into cigars and you've got maybe you go through the tobacconist university to where you have a little certificate and everything like that. It's like you could get a gig with Puff at Sea and go and sail around and teach people cigars. And
that's the goal.
Find a worse way of living, Yeah,
I'm retired. And so one of the things for me is to have people out there, because when we started this up, right, I can't say, I did everything by myself. There's no way. I've bounced a couple of ideas off Alvin, Ken. We bounced ideas around. Hey, let's try this. So what about this? What if we did this? That type of thing. So it's not just Puff at Sea is not just I'm the founder of it, but I have a lot of people. I have people sit here when we got our cigars. They were sitting there putting the cigar bands on for us, right?
Yeah.
We're sitting here having a cigar band party, right? Putting the swag bags together, those types, making sure, that when people got there, the bag, some of the things we put in, it wasn't the same thing. It was geared towards the person.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to know everybody, so people will get just the standard stuff, but people, I knew I added something extra in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's definitely, something that, as you can tell, I'm passionate about it.
No,
and
I
it's because I've done it and I know what I would want, and I want to make sure they get the same thing.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, Art, where can people, if anybody that's heard this, where can people find out more information about Puff at Sea, reach out to you about taking a cruise, all that?
Yep. So my email is arbrooks@puffatsea.com. You can go to puffatsea.com, the website. We also have a Facebook group, Puff, the ampersand SEA. We put all the information on there.
Yeah.
We're on Instagram, TikTok, X, all those type of things. So reach out on the social media, get in touch with me. I'm always putting the cruises out there. The website has all the cruises right now up there. You can look at them, see where they're going, those types of things. I don't like to put the prices on there, and here's why. With the first one we did, I put out a flyer and I had the prices, right?
Yeah.
A couple of months went by and people started calling me and they said, hey, how much is this cruise? And I told them, well, that's not what the flyer said. Well, the price changed, right? So even though I have a group, if you don't get the number, say I put a group together of 50 people, and right now you say I only have 25, well, the cruise line is going to take those other 25 back because you're not using them and they're filling up the ship, so they need them back. Yeah. So now if I book people, I've got to pay what the prevailing rate is now.
Okay.
But they also have sales, so I may be able to get it cheaper than what that had. When you call me up and you want a cruise, I'm going to get you the best price that's available that day, that week, whatever that time frame is. So it may be cheaper than what's advertised and it'd be more expensive. And I stopped doing, I just put call for prices. But I'm going to get you the best price. But it's not going to be the thing was, I had people that wanted to book that week of the cruise. Well, it's 3 times what it cost.
I was going to say
6 months ago.
I mean,
So,
I know from
the cruise line.
From flying, airline tickets. It's like the closer you are to your trip, the more expensive that airline ticket is. Yep. So, obviously you want to book out and get the better price.
Yeah, but we can do door to door, right? I can have a car pick you up, get your luggage, take you to the airport, have transportation from the airport to the ship, back from the ship to the airport, back to your house. We can do the whole 9. And we can do your excursions for you, put all that together for you, everything. We can put, like I said, we're a full service agency. Resorts, same thing.
So if someone wants to swim with sea lions, you can
yes, I put them on But what I do is I give them a choice, right, when it comes to excursions, because there's really 2 ways you can do it. You can do what the cruise line has, or we can put one together for you. Now, the one that we put together for you, if you're not back in time, something happens, you're going to get left. Right.
Yeah. Nobody wants that.
But we're also working with some now where if they don't get you back, they compensate you for it and they get you to the next port.
Okay.
If you happen to get left, if it's their fault. They will compensate you and get you to the next port.
So like your jewelry guy.
But they have a choice. I give you, if you want this one, it's going to cost 4 times what this costs. So it's your choice.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. Well, very cool. Well, all right. Thank you so much for taking time out. I think this is really cool. I think it's a nice experience for cigar smokers that want to travel and still be able to encounter, or take part in their passion. Because, I mean, you hear about traveling with cigars, and sometimes, man, it can be a hassle. Like there's a guy I know that he's getting ready to go to Australia, and oh my God, the cost for him to bring cigars into the country. It's very restrictive in terms of that, and then he's got to pay out the nose in order to bring in the cigars and everything. But for him, he's going to be there 2 weeks, and he's like, I'm not going. I think he smokes the Corona, so he goes through like 8 a day. So it's like you can't tell a guy that smokes 8 Coronas a day. Yeah, 2 weeks you're not going to smoke. It's like no.
Right. Because that's one of the things for your listeners is you can bring your own sticks on the ship.
Okay.
And I've seen people, that get on the ship and they want to buy cigars. They go in there, they're overpriced, no question. Not even a doubt. But the thing is, you can bring your own sticks.
Let me ask you this before I let you go. So, like, obviously, planes have restrictions upon flying with torch lighters and things of that nature, and you got to check it in the bag and all that and everything. But like, do boats have restrictions for that kind of thing? Like, are you allowed to bring just any torch lighter on? Or
some do. Some have restrictions on bringing a torch or any type of butane lighter.
Okay.
That type of thing. Some of them will let just a big lighter go through. One of the things that we did, and that's how do we get all these lighters on for our Puff and Sea cruise? We submit to the cruise line everything that we're going to bring on, and we get their approval for it. So the cigars, we say we're bringing on these cigars, right? I'm bringing 100 cigars, right?
Yeah.
We're going to bring these lighters. I'm bringing hats, T-shirts, all those that. So we submit a list to them of all of the things that we're going to bring on and get their approval for it. So we have the approval before we get on the boat. We know that we can do it. Now, the individual passenger, getting on a flight, you're probably going to I've lost a lot of lighters in airports. Some good ones too, man. I've lost some good lighters. My only recommendation to you then
some TSA agent sitting back going like, look what I got today.
Look, this is cool, man. Oh, you can't take that on there. And you should be able, if you had something like that, they take you over and you can just mail it back home. They've taken those away. Most airports don't have that now.
Yeah.
So you're or you can go back to your car while I flew here. I flew here to this and I got through here, because sometimes you can get through. But
you can't
at
get
some
back.
point they may get you, right? So you take a chance. What I recommend to people is, hey, don't take that chance to just buy a lighter. when you get to one of the ports or something, or just ask somebody for a light till you get there.
Well, I mean, theoretically, so I guess if they're doing the puff at sea, though, it's one of those things where they can bring their cigars, but they don't have to worry about a lighter and a cutter because you're probably providing that in the goodie bag. Exactly. Yep. So they'll have all that stuff, right there and able
we would
to
provide cigars for the one we just did.
Yeah.
Oh man, we must have handed out 15 cigars to each person. So, and that was more than enough for the 6 days, right? So, and that's the reason we got a lot of, when we did the cigar swap, people put extra cigars in there because they had brought them to smoke. So they say, I put these in there. We ended up handing out some to our bartender, the server, and we handed them cigars. Like, here you go. And they, oh, what? How much? No, here you go. So,
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Art, thank you so much for taking time out. I really appreciate it. And, I hope that everybody that's into cruising maybe reaches out to you. And when they do, listeners, when you do reach out to Art, tell them that you heard about it here. Because I think that would be nice. That would be nice. So,
matter of fact, if some listeners want to do a cruise, because I always ask for you, if you got a code, put in there Nick. And that'll be the code. And what I do with that is I'll get in touch with you and let you know, hey, we'll go that route. But just put the code in. It's on there. Put in the code Nick.
Code Nick.
Be capital Nick or NIC, whatever. NIK. I'll know it was him.
There we go. Yeah. Fantastic.
But Nick, I appreciate you letting me come on your platform and talk about Puff at Sea. For me, like I said, it's a passion. It's going to be an experience for people, and I hope to get you on one soon.
Oh, it's a unique experience and something that I think, like I said, I think some people would be really interested in.
Yeah.
We'll talk. Me, like I said,
and I'll be at the
I got some deep trauma from mine.
Look, man, we'll take care of that. I'll get you some Dramamine.
There we go. We'll dope my ass up.
Man.
I'll be fine.
Your swag bag will have Dramamine.
I'll be sitting there just drugged out of my mind, smoking my cigar, just like Fantastic.
Well, I appreciate it, Nick. Thanks a lot, man.
Take care, Art. Thank you.
All right, take care.
All right, guys. I really want to thank Art for joining me and explaining Puff at Sea to me. It sounds like a pretty cool thing. Admittedly, I'm still nervous about cruises. Cruises and I've only had the one legit experience, and admittedly, it was a very poor experience. But, he's making a compelling enough case that perhaps one day I will have to, put aside that experience and attempt it again. Who knows? The concept sounds fun to me. Cruising, that is, by the way. The Puff at Sea does a lot too, but cruises in general sound fun to me. The idea of, I like the idea of maybe going up to the pool deck and having a book and just kind of sitting out and enjoying the sea air and the fresh air and everything else. But it's the motion. I have problems with motion. Trains, boats, hell, even sitting in the back seat of cars sometimes. I get motion sick. And so it's just one of those things that it does concern me, and it makes me nervous. So I don't know. But if you guys like cruises, I would highly recommend it. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and jump into this now. It's time for the Villiger Cigars Entertainment Report, brought to you by
Villiger.
Villiger Cigars, one of the leading cigar and cigarello manufacturers in the world, founded in 1888 and still family-owned and operated. Head over to VilligerCigars.com and check the store locator to find a shop near you that carries them. We guarantee that Villiger Cigars will be a wonderful addition to your humidor and cigar rotation. Well, through the magic of podcasting, I am coming to you from the past, and this is I'm in the point in the past right now that the conclusion of the World Cup has not happened yet, but you are listening to this in a post-World Cup finals world. All I know at this point is that the final game will come down between Spain and Argentina, and I have absolutely no idea who wins until it happens. But, because I'm on my trip and this and that and whatever, you guys won't hear any of my thoughts on that until after I'm back. So I guess it'd be a week from today's episode. So, it'd be the 28th. You'll hear all the 28th, but I'm sure you're riveted and looking forward to that. Nothing like 9-day-old World Cup, talk. Anyway, I don't really have that. And truthfully, I've been so busy getting ready for my trip that I really don't have much. I will say, I did listen to, there's a few podcasts that I've been listening to. Maybe if you're somebody like me who has really enjoyed the World Cup and, you're kind of sitting there going like, well, does this have to end with the World Cup? What's next? Do we want to, pursue maybe the broader world of football or soccer? One podcast I've really enjoyed throughout the World Cup is Men in Blazers. They've done a really good job. They're humorous. They're not, they know what they're talking about, but it's not so like rigid or they don't talk down to you, but they don't like talk to you like you fully are a soccer football expert, which I like. I appreciate it. And I appreciate the humor and I appreciate kind of the levity. So, if you're interested and maybe, you want to like learn a little more or dip your toe in that water fully, the Men in Blazers podcast, I've enjoyed it. Throughout the World Cup, they did 2 of them. They did a morning one called the Morning Cup Date, and they did one in the evening called the Night Cup, like the nightcap. I've dug it. It's been nice. It's kind of, it's nice to have a show that caters to your new interest. Otherwise, guys, I don't have much for this, and that's on me. So I guess now the mystery cigar still presents as fairly light. Now it is time to find out, is the juice worth the squeeze? Yes, it's time for another lemonade review. And today we have a different one. One I have actually never heard of, but it fascinates me. Yes, it's Swoon Pink Lemonade. Swoon, Swoon, Pink Lemonade. Now, Swoon Pink Lemonade is naturally 0 sugar. 5 calories in the whole can. And according to this, Swoon, they say, we love skipping on something sweet. Who doesn't? But needed to nix. What? Sipping, not skipping. That would make no sense. They love sipping on something sweet, but needed to nix the sugar. None of the drinks out there had a swooning, so we got to work creating one magic one of our own. We canned all the fun and flavor without inviting sugar to the party. Now, every sip is extra swoon-worthy. Jennifer and Christina, tasteswoon.com, at Swoon. Nothing artificial, great source of vitamin C. This can contains 5% juice, which, I guess that's something. Ingredients: filtered water, lemon juice concentrate, always good to see lemon juice, vegetable fiber, ooh, so it's gonna make me poo, citric acid, potassium citrate, stevia leaf extract. Yeah, it's really gonna make me poo. What is that? Ascorbic acid, natural flavors, purple sweet potato for color, and monk fruit extracts. So we have a supernatural, not supernatural, super space natural. 2 words, not 1 word. Supernatural, 0 sugar, lemonade, pink lemonade. So let's see if it's something to swoon about. All right, pop the can, and well, bottoms up. Okay. All right. Oh, swoon. I'm sorry. All right, guys. So I get what they're going for here. I do. And you know what? I'm not saying there's not a market for it, but I am not their target market for it. Let's bring up the list here. Lemonade. Let's go ahead and add swoon pink lemonade. So, going off the old lemonade review chart here. Lemon flavor. It's very light. Very light. It's like an aftertaste. It's there, but it's extraordinarily light on the palate. So truthfully, lemon flavor, we're going to go with 3. Then we get to the sweet tart balance. Last time I did this, if you recall, I expanded that out, made it 2 categories. So sweetness. I mean, it's there. It's there, but it's not high at all. This is, 4. That's being generous. I'm going to give it a 3. I'm going to give it another 3 for sweetness. Tartness. It's not super tart either. It is more tart than sweet though. So we'll go 4. Enjoyment. Am I enjoying this swoon pink lemonade? Guys, I'm sorry, Jennifer and Christina of Swoon. I get what you're going for here. You're going for a 0 sugar, next to 0 calorie, pink lemonade that, let's be real, diabetics can enjoy. I get what you're doing. The problem is it is so watered down that this makes Crystal Light seem like decadent Kool-Aid. I mean, there is nothing to this. It is, I mean, in comparison to all of the other lemonades that I've had, this is like nothing to it. It is water with a very hint of pink lemonade flavor to it. So my personal enjoyment of this swoon pink lemonade, look, it doesn't offend me. I'm not sitting here like pissed off that I'm drinking it, but am I thrilled with it? I'm going to say no. So because I'm not pissed off at it, but because I'm not super digging it, we're going to go with yet another 3. And finally, freshness. Now, freshness is where they might score well, because flavored water, lemon juice concentrate, vegetable fiber, I don't know how that's necessarily put in there, but whatever, it's going to be more natural. Citric acid, that's obviously a additive. It's an additive, but I mean, it's more of a natural additive. Potassium citrate. I mean, I guess that's what it is. Stevia leaf extract. That's the one that makes me a little nervous. I'm a little fascinated by the fact that they used purple sweet potato for color and monk fruit extract. So, so for the freshness on this, I'm actually going to give them a few points. I'm going to give them a solid 7 on the freshness side of things. They don't have enough of any of that stuff except for water, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, God. All right. So, yeah. So, we have five categories there. And so we divide by 5, giving the Swoon, well, it is now tied with the Boylan Sparkling Lemonade with the worst score. Oh, and Mr. Pure, the worst score of 4. Truthfully, the Mr. Pure had more flavor than this does. And that's saying something because the Mr. Pure was straight trash. I'm not necessarily calling Swoon trash. It's just sad. This is something, if you're going to appeal to diabetics as this low sugar, low calorie alternative, which is great. I think that's wonderful. You got to make sure that it has some life to it because, you don't want it to seem like you've sucked all the fun out of whatever it happens to be, to where it's like, oh, you can have this, but it has to be devoid of any fun and enjoyment. And unfortunately, Swoon has taken all the fun and enjoyment out of pink lemonade. So I'm sorry, Swoon. I did not dig you. The juice was definitely not worth the squeeze. All right, guys. Well, I am available on Instagram at The Cigar Pulpit. I am on... I'm on Facebook, where we have the Pulpit Parishioners group. You can get in on the fun by finding that. It's a private group. Request access. I'll let you in. It's a wonderful time. Twitter/X. And you can watch this on YouTube and Rumble. Once I get back from my trip and kind of settle back into life and everything like that, on Wednesdays, the Drive Time Reviews will be available on YouTube and Rumble. They will be available on Wednesdays starting at 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Central Time. But that'll be after life kind of settles back down, because at this point, I'm just going to quit promising it's going to it'll be back, but for right now, it's taking a break. I need your calls. You can call the hotline, area code 863-874-0000. Call in with your comments, questions, concerns, criticisms, whatever you may have. But call the Ask the Pulpit hotline, area code 863-874-0000, or tofu pie with no E, 0000. And finally, sign up for the Cigar Chronicle newsletter by heading over to cigarpulpit.com. A little pop-up box comes up there. You can put your email address in the box, and you'll be signed up for that. That comes out once a month, and it's just got some fun information in it. What else do I need to tell you? Oh, coming up on Saturday, July 25th, we do have the next Pulpit Parishioners Zoom Herf. That the details for that will be in the Facebook group on a post. You can, all the login information will be in the comments. If you are not a part of the Facebook group, or you're not on Facebook, just email me, Nick, N-I-C-K, at cigarpulpit.com, and I will be happy to send you the login information so you can join us. It's a fun time. We get on there, we smoke cigars with BS for a few hours, and everybody has a good time. So if you're looking to replicate maybe the bygone Zoom herfs of COVID time, or maybe you weren't a cigar smoker in COVID time and you want to see what COVID time was like, join us on one of the Zoom herfs, and we'll be happy to include you in the fun. Otherwise, guys, I think that is a show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. And maybe, just maybe, I hope some of you consider going on a Puff at Sea cruise. This has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpits. I'm Nick. Everybody, stay safe, stay smoky. I don't know what this cigar is, but it pairs well with the Swoon Lemonade because both of them are just kind of like bland and like flavorless. Super light and just like nothing to it. Anyway, thanks, guys.